All right, everybody, welcome back. We're going to try this again today. This is the NDi Presents YouTube channel, and we are presenting skillsetsonline.com. The last round we just did this 10 minutes ago. We finished, but there was an audio problem, and apparently the audio quit about a minute into the thing and never came back. So we're starting over from scratch. So this is your opportunity to ask any questions you might have, to catch the content for real this time, and let's see what happens. So what we're going to do is I'm going to kick up the slideshow. We're going to walk through that real slowly. Then we're going to go into the example, the demo of the product. And if you have any questions, like I said, hit me up on Hangouts or on the YouTube page for the questions area on the YouTube page, the live chat section. Let me get my screen share going. Should be it right there. Yes. Okay. So as I said, welcome to NDi Presents. Round 2 for today. Skillsetsonline.com. We're going to find out exactly what it is and why do we care about that. So the agenda is going to talk about the purpose of the course, the purpose of this training, what is Skillsets Online, why did we choose it, what are some of the topics, what are the types of training they offer. We're going to talk about options and plans. We're going to do a quick demo, and then I'm going to show you the resources, and hopefully you'll be asking questions as we go. All right, so what is Skillsets Online? So Skillsets Online is an online training facility. We've all taken online training. If you've watched one of my brown bags before, then you know what it looks like. Someone is explaining something, giving you a demo of the product, and then expecting you to go take that knowledge back and do something with it for yourself. So Skillsets Online mission statement is written here. I'm not going to read it to you, but I did break out the point behind their mission statement, their purpose. Their purpose is to be the vehicle towards quality education, and they've really nailed it. They're doing a great job. The site is growing leaps and bounds every day. The content is growing every day, and let me tell you, they've got a lot of content to start with. We've, as a company, NDi has provided this product to us as a perk, no cost to us as employees. So we have been given this opportunity to take any and all of the courses that are offered, as well as the certification paths and the PDUs. I know some of you PMs require PDUs every year. My CTSP requires PDUs every year. So having these in here really is going to make a big difference. You'll be able to take the PDUs online and have a record of that and be able to print certificates and transcripts and all of that stuff to be able to prove that you've taken your PD requirements. So we chose Skillsets Online because they have over 5,000 hours of training. I'm not kidding. That's a lot of training. Hundreds of topics. Their topics are core IT topics. There are some rare topics. There are topics dealing with HR and finance and sales and development, everything. If you can think about the topic, they've likely got a course for it. They do the topics in 2 fashions. Standard IT training, or I mean standard online training, and these things called shop talks. So the shop talk discussions are pretty cool. You've got a bunch of people sitting around discussing topics, discussing concepts, and sometimes they're going really high level, sometimes they're digging into the weeds, but it's always around a specific topic. So for those of us that know, you know, if you've got a really good knowledge of a particular topic, then you can watch a shop talk associated with it to maybe get a different perspective, to maybe pull up a high level. In some cases, they have in-depths on a specific undocumented feature, for example, in certain tools that you may not have found yet. You know, some things are like, hey, be careful of this because although it says it can handle it, it really can't, you know, that kind of thing. And these are professionals. These are guys that are specialists in the field that work with each of these tools. And they're the ones that are giving the shop talks. And the talks are discussed based on questions that have been asked by students from other courses. And of course, as I said, this is provided to us as a perk. The price has been completely covered by NDi. So I recommend you take this opportunity to grow yourself. Do it for yourself. Do it for your company. There's no reason not to. Take your downtime and burn it in here. You won't regret it. Some of the topics, and the topics are broken into 3 pieces. Actually, the topics are broken into 3 pieces. This is not the 3 pieces. These are some of the topics and not in their categories. So you've got core topics, which are IT topics, Microsoft, Cisco, Oracle, Linux, and so on. You've got some rarer topics that are harder and more difficult to find, like iOS development, Android development, WordPress operation and development, JSON, Hadoop, IDIL. Here's PMI, PDUs. You've got personnel topics like accounting, communicating, negotiating, sales, mentoring, relationships. So if you're dealing with difficult people, cross-cultural communications, I know we have a lot of that in NDi as well as with our clients, sales. So there are tons and tons and tons of topics. Again, over 5,000 hours of trainings and topics. So again, there's primarily 2 types of training going on. You have the online training, which is your typical instructional videos with here's a demo and here's a diagram and here are tests that help you retain the knowledge, make sure you gathered and understood the knowledge, so on. But then there's also the shop talks, which are the panel discussions. There are course tests and there are topic tests. So the way it works is you have a course, and in that course, you've got several topics. So your courses, your online courses run 2 to 4 hours a course. Some of them are a little bit longer, some of them are a little shorter. The topics within them are usually 5 to 15 minutes each topic. So it's real easy to be going along and break out. So you can stop at the end of a topic because they're only 5 to 15 minutes long usually. At the beginning of every topic, at the beginning of every section, there is a test, and it's the pre-test. You'll get the same test at the end, the post-test, and it gives you a chance to take the pre-test, watch the content, all of the different topics, and then take the post-test at the end. You can figure out what your growth is. You can track your growth. You can look at the courses, sections where you are lacking based on what the testing displays. It's pretty cool. So moving right along, here is it's a 1-minute preview of the skill sets trailer. I thought I'd play this and the shop talks player. Hopefully it'll come across. So let's see what happens.
There are 3 things to note about skill sets online courses. A typical course takes about 2 to 4 hours depending on the subject. There's over 5,000 hours of online courses to choose from, both for IT professionals as well as general users. You get credit for all the titles you watch. Each title you watch will be added to your manager's dashboard under your name. This way, your manager has a record of all the skill sets titles you have taken. Here are a few samples.
Let's say I overcommitted it like I did on that last page by 4 gigabytes and both of those virtual machines do spike. What happens then?
When we log in locally to server 2016 without the local GUI tools installed, this is what we get. We get a command prompt and it looks and feels a lot like server core.
Now let's put all this together with some practical exercises.
Let's talk now about the Cisco IndyConnect 3.x supplicant, and then we're going to go up and take a look at a Windows machine.
Let's take a look at what you'll see when you first open Excel 2016.
Successful project management isn't only about identifying what must be done and when. It's also about managing how the work is done throughout a project.
So that gives you a pretty decent understanding about what Skill Sets Online is as a whole. It gives you a little brief peek at the courses. We're going to open up a course in a few minutes and give you a real world example of one of the courses that I'm in the middle of. So the next type of training is the shop talks, and the shop talks are really pretty cool, actually. So let me play the 1-minute preview for that.
There are 3 things to note about Shop Talk of Silicon Valley titles. The titles are short and convenient, on average only about 10 minutes long. The titles are for IT professionals who want to get a real-world IT perspective from watching a panel discussion. You get credit for all the titles you watch. Each title you watch will be added to your manager's dashboard under your name. This way, your manager has a record of all the Shop Talk titles you have taken. Here are a few samples.
So why then the big change in architecture?
Themselves, if they want to make the jump to Office 365, what features do I need? Any changes you make to SharePoint are immediately reflected.
So what then if I want to patch one of the nodes running a different version of the operating system?
It's VMware throwing down the gauntlet to some extent and basically saying it's like,
now the junior IT can go, actually, I took that 2016 class, I watched those videos at Skill Sets Online. And
All right, so that's a good preview of what the Shop Talk sections look like. So here's some of your options, some of the training plans and paths that you can take when you're in the system. You can select your own courses. So if you look right here, you've got the library and your courses show up. You type in a search criteria, the courses show up. You save them to your learning plan and then pull your learning plan up and take whatever training you've got right there. You can also launch it right from the library. Courses can be assigned to you by your supervisor, by the company. You have the pre-test, post-test, Delta track training. So the pre-test and post-test, I described that to you a second ago, where you take the pre-test for a subject and then you watch the videos within that subject, the several topics within that subject, and then you take the post-test. And what that gives you is that gives you the step up that you made from the test. Your pre-test, say you got a 60%, and your post-test you got 100. So that's a pretty good indication that you retained the knowledge, at least gained a little right there. And it's also very rewarding, actually. I find that as I do better on the post tests, I'm more pleased with myself. I don't know. I get a greater feeling about what I'm getting out of Skillsoft to make me want to take more courses, to make me want to grow a little more. The Delta track training is pretty cool. Let's say you take the pre-test, you get that 60, and then you take the post-test and you only get a 65. So you can actually say, show me where the subject is for these questions, and it'll highlight that in the topics, and you just rewatch that section, that one little topic. So again, your course might be 2 to 4 hours. Let's say it's 2 hours and it's got 4 topics in it. 4 subjects in it. And each of those subjects is broken down into 4 topics. So you've got, each topic is, 5 or 10 minutes. So it points you directly to that topic. So you only have to watch that 5 or 10 minute section again to be able to answer that question properly. It's very handy. So there are 3 types of courses. I mentioned that earlier. You've got IT courses, which are your Microsoft Server. That's programming with iOS, programming with Android. That's installing Tableau, that's that kind of thing, right? Installing Server 2003 or whatever. Then you've got your end user courses. Your end user courses are user courses of how to use Google Calendar, how to use Microsoft Outlook, how to use Microsoft Word or Photoshop. So those are the end user courses. Now they do get, some of the courses are deeper than others. For example, the Google Sheets course. I took the Google Sheets course. So Google Sheets is the Microsoft Excel equivalent. And of course, we all know it's not equivalent. It's a little bit on the lighter end of what Excel can actually do, but it's got a lot of really deep functionality and a lot of really good stuff, and it's perfect for most people. So in their course, they're not getting into development of cell content in programmatic fashion, but they are getting into, let's call it the canned functionality, right? So canned functions like sum and equal and things like that. They'll show you all of that stuff. Then they've got partner courses. Now the partner courses, I'm not sure why it's titled like that, but what I found is the partner courses are all of the personnel or HR or relationship style topics. I say relationship style because that actually covers things as well as sales. So how to be a better salesman, how to close the deal. Those are actually 2 courses that are listed there. There's also, and we'll see the course list in a minute, a deeper dive into the courses, but there's also how to mentor a person, how to train a person, how employee retention practices, things like that. So you can track your progress. You can track your completions. If you look down here on the right, this is the learning transcript, which is available under quick links or a big bright button on the left now. And with your transcript, you can view certificates. You can view your actual transcript. Let me show you one of the certificates here. So obviously it's not, it's not suitable for printing, but it is definitely suitable for turning into HR. It's definitely good for showing NDi that you're taking the training, that you're accomplishing it, that you've completed it, and that this skill set, in this case, DevOps fundamentals, tools and technologies and infrastructure, that is now a skill that I possess, and that my folder, my portfolio within NDi should be enhanced to express that I have DevOps training. That doesn't mean I'm a DevOps developer in any case, but in this case, I've got the infrastructure, tools, and technologies classes done. So that's very handy. You can also print reports, and again, those certificates. Your reports are basically, I just got rid of it, but so here's your report. You've got the completion status report, and this is for one particular course, the start and end dates. You have to achieve a score of 70 on the test. I got 100 in this case. It shows you your pre-tests and your highest scores, whatever the current score is. So it's got some really good features in it to be able to gauge your progress. So, all right, let's roll to the next slide. Hey, it's the demo. Awesome. Okay, so with the demo, we're going to kick up this guy. So once you've logged into SkillSets Online, and actually I want to bring up, before I do that, I want to bring up, not the right, the menu. All right, so I want to show you the menu. A couple of things that I want you to see about the menu. Here's the menu here. Online courses. So the first thing to note is that we are in the IT course list. Okay? Pay attention to the scroll bar here. How small it is and how long it's got to travel before it gets down there. And again, this is just the list of IT courses. So Microsoft Infrastructure, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Windows 10, Data Analytics, Windows 8, Server 2016, Server 2012. Apparently I'm behind on my server IDs. Server 2012 again. Okay, let's jump way down. There's SharePoint. See if we can get out of the Microsoft here. Here's Cisco. Here's CompTIA, Linux, Java, Oracle, Juniper, PMI, right? So there's your Project Management Institute. So Certified Agile Practitioner. Now, whenever it says certified, that's a certification path. So they actually are prepping you to take the test. There is an exam prep for PMBOK. IDIL courses, Six Sigma courses, database, Chef, Docker, Vagrant, visualization with Tableau, introduction to SQL, Mongo, Raven, Apache, Teradata, Hadoop. Here's some cloud courses, OpenStack, cloud computing for IT, Google Analytics, mobile courses, web development courses, JSON, C++, Swift, Python, Get, Angular, jQuery. As you can see, there is a ton of classes, REST API, Drupal. So that's just the IT courses. Now let's go look at the end user courses. Let that load. So here we have the Adobe courses, Premiere, Cold Fusion MX, Captiva, Dreamweaver, Photoshop. Here's Google Apps courses, fundamentals. I did this whole series right here just to get an idea of what was going on. It's a good series to start with. All the Microsoft end user courses, how to use Skype for Business, which we now have to deal with several of our clients. Microsoft Windows courses. Going down. Microsoft Office, Linux, Lotus, more Office for Mac, SAP. All right, then we have partner courses. Come on, load up. So in the partner courses, again, I found a lot of these to be HR related. So business grammar, anger management, interpersonal communications, international communications was up there, effective listening, which is one of the ones on my list, building improved work relationships, email essentials, constructive feedback, customer focus, accounting, how to do interviewing, behavioral interviewing. There's one, basic business math skills. Putting that on my list. Organizational behaviors, human resources, human resource management. The leading from the front line is one of the ones on my list. That sounds like a great course. So many courses for so many different paths to take. So many of us in NDi wear multiple hats. Management essentials and business coaching essentials would be fantastic for us as team leads, project managers, to be able to not only understand and lead our teams better, but maybe to help coach, maybe to help mentor someone that we're working with. You know, consider as we try to bring employees up in the ranks, we need to mentor them into the position that we're tailoring them for. And these are great courses to help us deal with that. Problem solving and decision making, critical thinking, public speaking. So you can see that the course list that we have available to us right now is pretty substantial. And the way this works, let me get back over to this one here. Nope, that's the wrong one. I need this one here. So here is the NDi Training in Brown Bags Confluence space. And there I created a subpage called skillsetsonline.com, which tells you all about skill sets, gives you a little 5-minute introductory video and instructions right here in the center on how to get access to it. So the way it works is this. NDi has purchased us 3 library cards to share as a company. You're issued a library card for 2 weeks, and then it expires automatically. If you're finished before the 2 weeks is ended, you can check it in advance, but it'll automatically expire. So you can see mine expires on the 12th. So I've got one open right now. Marcus and Lewis both have them open. So when I finish today, I will turn it in and it'll become available. And whoever I've put next in this list right here, access request waiting list, is the one that's going to get the next available card. So according to the instructions, you contact me and you request to be added to the list. You'll be placed in that queue, and the next library card that is available gets issued to you for up to 2 weeks. You can turn it in early if you've finished, and you may be issued another card at any time as the waiting list permits. As long as you have an active library card, you can view as much training as you want from any of the courses Skill Sets Online offers. There are no limitations to how much training you can take, except maybe mentally. And there is no limitation as to which of the trainings you can take. And again, we have the power. NDi can dictate you to take a certain class by a certain date and give you a library card associated with it. But there is no limit to the courses that you can take that are available online. Also on the SkillSets Online page on Confluence, you'll be able to find the SkillSets Online link, which is actually really hard to remember, skillsetsonline.com, and a list of the online courses there. That's their menu, what they call it, the menu. So let's go look at actual skillsetsonline.com. So here it is, and we're logged in as me. You can see here my happy mug up here in the corner. Your learning transcript is available here. If I open that up, it shows you all the classes that I've taken. My final scores right here. Obviously, these 2 I'm not finished with. Why does it say I'm done with that one? Oh, because I demoed the final test for you, but I'm not finished with that one yet. Tableau is the next one that I'm going to take after this Agile software testing methodologies and approaches. Right from here, you can relaunch the course. You can view your certificates. You can view any details about it. Tells you when you started and when you ended. That's your transcript. So if you click right here back on Learning Plan, it'll take you back to the plan. Now in the plan, I have a couple of groups. So this is a collection called Essentials of Mentoring. If you open that collection, here are all these courses that they have assigned to that group of courses. Okay, so you can call that a knowledge base. Essentials of Mentoring is the knowledge base, and here are the individual courses. Gives you the duration of the courses, and over here you can launch it, but you can also save the course directly to your thing, or you can add deadlines to it that you want to watch it. You want to have it done by a certain time. When you go into one of those groupings, one of those knowledge domains, and add an individual course, this is what it looks like. You get the actual course, whether you're in progress or pending. If you've assigned a due date, then that shows up there so that you can sort your courses by due date. Boom, now it's on the top. You can launch it. You can add any details. You can make notes about it. Under the change info is where you assign your due date. You can also set reminders. Remind me every day or every day starting on the 10th day before, so starting 2 days before the due date. So, and then send me overdue notices or whatever. So I haven't done any of the reminders yet. I just leave it there and watch that one. And then when that one's finished, I go pick another one, which will probably be this one. And then the Tableau. So that's pretty much it for your current learning plan. You go straight into the library and you pick, as I said, IT, end user, and partner. Older courses, they're having difficulty with this right now. So some of them are Java-based. And of course, a lot of the current browsers aren't supporting the Java version that they're using. So some of their courses aren't working. I tried to take one earlier just to see, and I couldn't get it to work in IE, Firefox, or Chrome. So I kind of bagged that idea for right now. But you choose the section you want and then search for that component. If you search here, you're looking at all content. If you search here, you're looking only in this category. So for example, you can search Scrum. Here's a list of all the Scrum available courses. And in this case, we've got 4 pages worth of courses, maybe more. If you search, now one thing I did notice, if you search certified, a lot of the courses say certified. So if it says certified or it says exam, these are preparing you, they're preparatory courses, setting you up to to pass the exam or to pass the certification process. So those courses might be a little different in that rather than having a full complement of information about that topic, they're going to focus on getting you through the test. A lot of the ones that I looked at in the DevOps classes, several of the topics say in section such and such of the exam, you'll notice that this happens and that happens, and here's the answer that they're looking for. So that's pretty cool. That's a really handy tool to have. So I think that pretty much takes care of everything. Let me open up the one that I used as an example earlier. So the way I've been looking at this is I go in here and each one of these is the section, right? So here's your section. Each section has topics and each topic is a video. So we can go right into the pre-topic.
Agile software development life cycles are comprised of short iterations with working software released at the end of each iteration. I'm Hala Saleh, a consultant and trainer with over 14 years experience working.
Welcome to Agile Software Development and the Agile Manifesto. In this video, we'll be talking about the history of the Agile Manifesto, and we'll also dive into the main values of the manifesto. The Agile Manifesto was written in February of 2000. In this video, we'll be presenting the 12 principles of the Agile Manifesto.
So I think you get the hint. Now, after the first video plays, it'll come up with a little thing that says autoplay, and you just, if you click that, you don't have to hit next topic at the end of each video. It will just automatically begin the next video all the way down to the test. So once you get to the test, you've got your several questions. Let's go to one that I haven't done yet, which would be this one. So you take the test. Okay, so I took the test here, the pre-test. It only has 2 questions in it. The neat thing is, when you take the test, let's say in this case, it's only got 2 questions. I passed 1, and I failed on the second test. I failed the second question. It comes back and it says, show failed topics. So you click show failed topics. Right here, show failed topics. What it does is in this section, you see now that's a test question that I missed is covered in that section. So you can go straight to that section, re-watch it, then jump back to the test to retake it. The eyedrop here shows you where you're at. So click over here, it's going to give me that section
In
back.
this video, we'll be talking about some different tools and techniques.
All right. The tests are pretty simple. I'm going to retake the entire test here since it's only 2 questions. What are some of the tools and techniques that can be used to record iteration status? So we're going to say Venn diagram, sprint burn down, task board. I know task board is in there. I'm intentionally going to leave it off. Oh, it looks like Venn is not the right one. So it would be daily stand up, sprint burn down, and task board. But so the intention was that I got that question wrong. Over here, what is regression testing? Practice to ensure new code does not affect current functionality. And I got that question right. So I got 1 out of 2. And if we go back to exit the test, show the failed topics, that's when it comes back to this and shows me this is where that content was covered, the content that I missed. So I go retake that component and then come back and retake the test. Now here's another cool thing. When you retake a test, you can retake the entire test or just the questions that you missed. What are some of the tools and techniques? Sprint burn down chart, task board, and daily stand up. Okay, so now I've got 100% on that test without having to retake the components that I had already passed. So when you're done with that section, you can see that it just punts you right to the next section. Okay, so it drops me down to the next section, ready to take the pretest and move on. The only last part that I want to show you is the course test. Course test is a total of 21 questions, and it comprises all of the questions from all of the previous post tests. Okay, so all of these questions are wrapped up into the course test. And I guess that is pretty much it. Let me pop back over to the presentation, see what's next on the slides, which I think is just the links. And if you have any questions. So here's a link to this Confluence page, right? That's the Confluence space for the brown bag, which is this one here. And that space is going to have the proper video. It's got the presentation you just watched, the outline. It's got the trailers that we watched, as well as the links to all the courses and such. And then the NDi Presents Trainings and Brown Bags Skill Sets Online full page is the one where you're going to go to see whether or not there's a library card available and contact me to get access to one in the future. So that's pretty much all I have. I hope that was informative. Let me look and see. We don't have any questions. Hey, late is better than never, Greg. That's cool. And yeah, Ryan, even with 5,000 hours, there's a couple of concepts in there that I didn't see that I would have liked to have seen. But I did talk to them, and I didn't mention this. I forgot to mention this at the beginning. So when I started putting this together, I actually called Skill Sets Online and got a hold of their marketing team. And I spoke to one of the guys for about 45 minutes and tried to get him to come on the show with me to, hey, you know, look, I'd love to have you interview tabletop kind of. And he couldn't because they are releasing so quickly right now that I've actually had to redo the presentation twice. And if you look, they've released again, and my presentation is old again. So they're coming together so fast with new technologies and new presentations, as well as new access to the site and new user experience, that they just didn't have the time to give me the half hour I asked for. Which, you know, with what I've seen in the last week, I fully understand because they are busting. They are busting over there. So as it stands, that's pretty much it, everybody. If you have any questions, like I said, hit me on Hangouts. When you're ready to reserve yourself a library card, hit me up. Let me know right away. The faster you get your name into that queue, the faster you're going to get a card, because it is first come, first serve. There are only 3 cards, and the card is issued at a maximum 2 weeks at a time. So if you get your name up there, once I issue you a card, the next person to get up there goes, and then you can put your name right back up there. The minute your card goes out of active, you can put your name right back on the list. So that's pretty much it. I hope everybody was able to hear this one better than the first one. And I'll get everything updated to show that this is the current video. I'll be deleting the previous video as soon as I can. Thanks, guys. And, go get your learn on. Talk to you later.